57th time to Ârc Live. I'm James of Ârc. We are coming to you live from Network School in the Singapore Johor Special Economic Zone. You really must visit. You can come at any time, reach out to me directly across any sort of like channel, or even go to ns.com/arc/apply and come and hang out with us in paradise. I can't believe you're making me sit inside at the weekend when the weather is so beautiful outside. For anyone watching that's just been in Buenos Aires at Dev Connect, I miss you and I miss Dev Connect too. But like, look, the party continues. You've just got to get over here as well. But anyway, want to dive straight into this. Actually excited. We've got like a slightly different style of kind of like guest in kind of like today. And geez, it's amazing for you to be here.
Thank you so much for having me, James. It's a pleasure. I've spent some time with you here.
Yeah, how long have you been here now?
It's just been 30 days, but it feels like way longer, right? I think it was one of the greatest times I've spent.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, it is. I truly do not expect me to enjoy so much. I think I've learned a lot, grown a lot.
This is the question interesting because you're not like how would I put this? Like, you're not like an innocent, green, naive person.
Yeah.
You've seen a little bit of the world. You've been around, right? And yet for you coming here, you're saying it's still been a pretty incredible experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've seen my fair share of failure and success. I think while I was coming here, I was truly not expecting anything. I truly just came here to be with like-minded people. And I think the overall experience here has been very humbling. It's truly got me back to the roots of like building. It's made me connect with some amazing people here, especially like you.
No. I've
But
let's go a little bit further. I want to understand why you came here, right? And I think that's a beautiful statement there that you found it humbling, and we'll come back to that. But maybe we find out a little bit more about you, kind of like first. Like where did you start? What have you been up to? How did you what was the route that you took to end up right here?
Oh man, I don't know how far back you want to go, but I think coming here was very intuitive and very sudden, right? I think I left what I was doing 6 months back. I was lucky enough to just stumble upon some money, so I was just chilling around. And I needed some routine in my life.
By like stumbling upon some money, you mean that you've basically been in the business of building technology companies for like a decade, and that you happen to have been involved in several that have actually become quite successful. And then by stumbling across some money, it's basically that you have created these, impactful organizations that have had some exits. And so do you want to just dive into that a little bit more? I don't want you to be too humble here. I want us to help everyone realize that there are actually like incredible, successful entrepreneurs that are here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I started my journey with, it was an app called Bar Uncle. It was a virtual alcohol wallet. I ran that for 4 years in India. I eventually sold that to a guy in India, moved out of there, joined PaySense, one of the first 20 employees to be there. From there, we took that company to approximately, I think, 200 CR IR. And from there we sold that company to PayU for an $800 million credit swap. Spent, I think, 5 years there. From there, I joined Polytrade, the second employee to join there. This is an RW aggregation platform. We launched our own token. And I would say truly luck had its way there, right? I think if anybody says that they can take a token where they want to, I'm not very sure how much they know, but I think the community liked us. The work we were doing was very interesting. We rose that company to 400 million, just exited at a good time. And then I just took a break.
No. That's okay. So that's basically, you're originally what was the name of the company? Bar
Uncle.
Bar Uncle. So sold that one, and then was involved in PayU, and like really, or rather sold to PayU, right? Like really early employed. That was 800 million, and then Polytrade and building there on the real world assets, and also was managed to exit there. So 3 for 3 is a pretty good kind of like hit rate. And then you're working pretty hard, right? Like, from what I understand. And then you managed to take a break and have a breather, and you managed 6 months before you thought, let's head over to network school. How did this even come on your radar, and like, why did you think sort of like here next?
So I think I started trading a little in my break, like, and I started trading for the worst reasons because I was free, right? And I just wanted to like get back to work. I think trading is, I love it. It's so much fun, but I just wanted to get back to building.
Yep.
And while I was building, I think somebody told me something very interesting, right? That there are some problem statements that you solve, and there are some problem statements that you find people to solve. And I think that conversation stuck with me for a very long time. I've been an operator all my life, and I really wanted to, I have this thing to just work on new problem statements all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what led me to this profound thought about why not like be an operator-led VC.
Sure.
And I just wanted to double down on the thesis. I think we've had a small conversation on it, but it's majorly around consumer tech and how the Web3 infrastructure has truly matured to now see consumers use it on a daily basis. And I wanted to just get down and start working. And I'm based out of Dubai, so I've been there for 4 years. And for people who know Dubai, it's not very easy to lock in Dubai, right? I think Dubai is a place where you need to know what you're selling or you need to know what you're buying. And if you're figuring out in Dubai, it is hard, right? So you need to be there. It's a marketplace. Dubai is a marketplace, and it's a very fast-moving, amazing marketplace to be in. But you need to have something to buy and sell.
Sure.
So I just wanted to get down, like I said, with some great people, just have that flow of energy within you and just be around builders, see what everybody's thinking about. And you'll be surprised. I was just scrolling Twitter, and I know about Network School for some time. And there's this post by Balaji. I just read it on like 28th, I think, evening. I applied for NS. Got approved the same day. I don't know how. Like, I think one of the very few people. I think it was just the last of the month, and I think the guy was on the laptop somehow. I was just again. And 29th I got approved. 30th I paid. 31st. I think morning I took a flight.
Sure.
And I was here.
It's great. It's great. Had you known anyone that had been here before?
No, I had no clue. The only thing I had seen was the Nas daily thing that he had done.
Sure.
And
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah,
that one got us in some hot water. We'll brush over that. Don't look for the Nas daily video, anyone.
But yeah, I think I just saw that. It was interesting, and I just got there.
Yeah. No, super cool. And so again, a lot you just kind of like covered there, right? And it's at the point is that you were like basically wanted or exploring becoming, I guess, like an operator-led VC, right? And also, I guess, interesting about that is that I guess that because of the reputation and the work that you've done before and the success you've had before, you've basically have LPs that have been like, yeah, like we'd love you to go do some investing for us, right? Like you've clearly got some skills, and then you've come here to work out something that you truly believe in, right? And that you feel that you can dedicate your kind of like self to, I guess, right? Like, sort of talk a little bit more about, I guess, like what sort of like fund you're imagining sort of like launching. I guess like imagining is a bit of an unfair word, like a lot of people at this stage imagine a fund, and then never get any money and don't do the fun part, right? You've already got the money, so this is not really an imagining, it's sort of like already like an execution phase. But like what are you thinking of doing?
I think on the fund side, I think there are like 10 people that think about a fund. I think 6 start trying, and I think one of them actually land up getting money for it. Right? I think that's the fund economics. And even with VC Labs, 1 out of 5 people actually close around with VC Labs support also. So I think I always knew that starting a fund was like a one uphill climb, but I really wanted to be here with like working with the founders, and I really liked it. I think that's what led the other guys around my circle and the other, like I've sat across 6 rounds in like all my career, and I've been lucky enough to raise money in all of them, right? So you tend to just understand what they want to hear and what's happening and how this actually system works. So it allowed me to raise money very quickly. At least I got like a few anchor systems set up in place. And I think that the round, like, it just keeps moving, right? I think these are two parallel streams that need to work together. You need to start deploying, you need to start doing some performance, and you need to keep raising. I think as a VC, you're not only somebody who's deploying capital, but you're also a founder, right? You're a founder that needs to be sitting in front of an LP and asking for money. And then you think, as a founder, you'll always think that, hey, it's great, like the VC guys are deploying funds, but dude, it's so hard. Like, it's an experience.
Like, again, I mean, I think that I would have launched a fund multiple times already in my life if I was confident that I could execute the fundraising side of it, right? Like, I've done a lot of fundraising as a founder from VCs, but I'm wise enough to understand just how different the game is for VCs to be raising from LPs. It's like a different set of capital, a different set of institutions. I don't have that network. I don't have that experience. And I'm, humble enough to realize just how hard it actually is, right? And again, I meet loads of people that want to raise funds, right? It is fucking difficult to do that stuff, right? And for context for people that, I mean, do you want to explain VC Labs, right, as context for people watching?
Yeah, sure. VC Labs is like YCOM for VC guys.
Sure.
Right? Simple as that, right? It's a place where if anybody wants to be an individual VC or start their journey in that particular piece, can apply individually. They will set you up, they'll train you, they will get you the right guy. If you are a fund and you're trying to start, you can again apply as a fund. They will help you with their round. Their cohort starts, I think, like, hey, this is like, that's a marketing, but like, cohort starts like, I think 20th Jan, this next one.
But you're not doing it. Right?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I know a bunch of people that have been through it as well. I don't think, there's some of them I know that have done it have actually gone on to raise kind of like funds, but it's tough. You said that 1 in 5, even that dude does the YC of creating VC funds. Only 1 in 5 actually ends up raising and deploying.
Absolutely.
Right? It's tough.
And I think, in a very interesting fact, I think the trend is changing in a very strong way with even VC Labs. 60% of all funds raised in the last cohort were solo GP funds.
Nice.
Right. So I think in a way, you are seeing some AI impact over here also, right? I think people are like, hey, we need some more concentrated approach. I think a lot of VCs are falling into the niche sectors. They're actually finding a problem statement that they want to solve, like I did, right? I think I'm only focusing towards consumer, right? On both sides of the spectrums, with AI and Web2 and even Web3, right? My goal is that with AI coming into picture, we'll have like a very seamless flow of technology. And we will see a new boom of consumer apps. I think it's a very generic feeling with a lot of VCs out there. So again, it was a little bit easier to raise money because people do understand that this is what is happening right now. So sometimes when you catch the right wave, the surf is fun, right? So that's what happened.
It's very interesting. But okay, so wrapping it again, so that starting a fund. Not just starting a fund, have money, going to start deploying sort of like soon. Kind of like came here to sort of like nail down maybe some of the strategy and the approach that you're kind of like taking. I remember we go back to one of those opening statements that you said, like, you turned up here, you weren't exactly sure what you're going to expect, and you sort of been fairly humbled by the experience. I mean, like, what were you expecting? What's actually happened? Like, how has it helped you on your journey?
So I've been a very non-internet community guy, right? Like, I have not truly joined and spent like hours on community. I've been very outdoorsy. I've been very
in real life,
in life, right? I've been an in-life person, and I've always been in the room and not on my phone, right?
Sure.
And I truly did not understand the concept about how a community taps into a physical state, right? And to fathom that, I had to truly see it. I had to truly see people believing in the fact that they're here because they believe in a common goal, which is just having something good in life, right? Having to grow together and finding your interest together, right? I think that common understanding truly made me see like an internet community in physical life. And I've heard so much, like I've been around Web3 and I've been around that space. I've heard like all the memes and all the jokes, and I spent enough time on the space to know how it's supposed to feel. And this one really felt amazing. And the reason why it was humbling was that I thought this will be like, there might be like line of gimmick in it, but I came here and found a very interesting line of truth in it, right? People are here not because they are here for Balaji or they are here for this is the next big thing or like
they're here for me, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think one of the best experiences being here at Ârc. Like I think the most time I've spent at NS is within this community.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've been hanging out in these spaces.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue.
Yeah, but I think I truly saw people coming here for what was actually being told for. Like it was being told for a community where people will find each other and everything around that chlant that you've heard.
Yep.
But it is true, man. It is true.
No, it's been interesting. And I guess like one of the things obviously that you're looking for now, right, is that you're starting to deploy capital. So you're trying to find incredible founders, maybe that haven't been found already, where you can where you can invest, right? And I guess like how have you found the founders that are sort of like here? What do you think about Ârc Network School as a place for you finding deal flow, I guess?
Oh yeah, I think Ârc has like a very interesting knack to attract the cream of NS. I think I'm going to put it like that way, right? Because the people I met at Ârc, I think I've had an interesting conversation with all of them.
Sure.
Right? And all of them here are great builders. I think they come with an experience of like few years that they have, like a lot of years that they've spent in the trenches.
Yeah.
And it does show. And I think they just get attracted to this sub community.
Sure.
And that is what, see, I think NS is like overall, it's like a very broader community. It's like at macro, very macro level, I agree. I think you will see a lot of people that are here just for health. You'll see here people that are just finding routine. But I think Ârc attracts a very interesting group of people that are here to grow.
Yep.
Right. And here for the drive.
Yep.
So I think I found like a very interesting set of founders here.
Yeah.
I think.
And I know there are some that you're tracking, right?
Yeah. I think there are like
you've got in your pipeline now that you're watching.
Yeah,
right?
I have. I think the entrepreneur in me and the founder in me wants to go at it now, right? Like I am there. But I've tried to tone myself down and tried to take the approach of, hey, I will just see through it.
Yes.
Just because it's supposed to be done like that.
Yeah.
But I think the guys are doing some great work here.
Yeah.
Like it's very interesting to see how fast they've developed in the last 30 days.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, that's well.
Yeah, I truly don't know if it's the surrounding that's made them build faster or like it's them themselves. So I think we need to give them another 20 days once they go back to see their progress, how it affects. Yeah. And I think if it affects them, I'm going to just tell them to come back to Ârc. Like, they need to be here, I think, for the next like 90 days.
I think it's not just a thing that happens at Ârc right here at NS. Like it's just like there's just like people are here to push themselves forwards, right? You know, and again, even I find it helpful, right? Like I can come in here at 1 a.m. and there is going to be someone at this desk working away, you know? And if I go to bed and I come back in at 8 a.m, there's 50-50 chance the person is still fucking sat there, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's mostly
you know, I almost feel I should actually be slapping some of the people and being like, look, you don't have to be nocturnal, right? Or at least you need to sleep at some point, right? But I do think it's helpful that there are just like other people in your shoes, building, kind of like working, kind of like hard. And I feel like even if you're in San Francisco, I mean, like maybe if you're in a hacker house in San Francisco and you're like, again, you're literally living with other hackers who are at the same sort of stage, I think you can sort of like replicate the experience that we're getting here. But like, I think like one of my hot takes is that actually, I think that like the actual concentration of talent here is like actually almost higher than San Francisco. Because there's sort of like nothing else other than the talent here building things, you know. It's you know, it's obviously a very small group that are here in comparison to that. But I do think that there. I mean, I told you the story of you know, when I went to the first sort of you know, pop-up city Vitalia in Prospero, right, Prospero, where I was staying in one of these villas, and you know, it was sort of shared villas, and so I woke up one morning and bumped into one of the founders that I'd invested in that I had no idea was going to be there. And this guy is I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't. I think I'm. Yeah. It's like currently sat on a very, very, very good return. It's an exceptional founder, one of the best founders I've ever met and had the pleasure to get to know. And they happen to be hanging out in one of these places.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about these places that like attracts? I'm just saying there are talented people coming through here, like super talented people coming through here. You know, what is it?
Yeah, I think pollen attracts the bee, right? It's basically. I don't know, the vibe, the overall drive that this place is sending. I think, like I said, I think I got attracted here, like I said, because of like I just wanted to be with people that are actually going for it right now, right? And with every tweet that you read, with every information that you see, with all of the biology conversations that I heard about how there's a decline of the West and how de-dollarization is happening, and I think with a lot of problem stuff with immigration and all that stuff also, I think we will see the rise of the East now, right? I think it's easier to build a more safer community right now in East than the West. I think they are going through their own phase, which is great, right? I think they've gone through some great phases. And this is another phase. It's just an opportunity for another side of the world to just pick up very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens. And like I think I've seen like a lot of people from the West on this side of the spectrum that are really enjoying, right? I think they're loving it here. It's warmer. The weathers don't change so much, so it's better. It's cheaper for them. The people are more hospitable. They're like more inviting.
I mean, the cheaper point, right? For again, like for a founder like locking in.
Here.
Jesus Christ, right? I mean, like, particularly if you get like some very small sort of like pre-seed funding, like even if you're in Singapore or you're San Francisco, that money ain't gonna go far. You come here to NS, right? Like every $20,000 you've got is like one body for a year, right?
With everything covered.
With everything you don't
covered.
have to spend another dollar. Like that, like certainty of just like again, I'm at a different sort of stage now, but it's like if I just had $20,000 to my name and I was like a younger kid, right? And I hadn't kind of made it yet. Like, honestly, somewhere you could just like commit to come here for a year, 25, and just know that you've got like everything's covered a year, just like $1,500 a month, right? Just keep getting like you can, like if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. I think that's like an inverse of the expression, right?
True,
it's not like
is
it New York, right? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right? But it's like more like the opposite here. If you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. You know,
I would come here if I had like $5,000, right? That's like 3 months of runway. That's enough for me to, and I think they have this NS earn system
where
you can take part and start earning here. I think there are enough people here that will help you earn. If you have like 2 months of runway, like $3,000 in your pocket, I think $500 for the flight, I think you just come here. And I think the best part is when you're running out of money, you find ways to make money. And I think in a place where there is gold everywhere, you will start digging somewhere, right? So
I think that's just the beauty, right? There's just like opportunity here, right? And everyone is thinking about these frontier things. I think that's one of, I don't know what your view on that is, right? Something I find myself repeating here quite often to people is like, you actually have to be cautious of just how frontier the thinking is here on so many things, right? That like, I feel that most of the things that we think will be true, but they're not necessarily true right now. And we have to be very cautious that like, in the game of venture, right? We're building things. And if you're building something that already exists, like it's probably not venture. It's not what you're doing, right? You're trying to build these things that maybe don't yet exist. You're trying to bring new things to the world. But if you bring them 10 years too early, like ain't nobody going to care, right? And I worry when we're in these places like this, that like, they're almost like we're just like even further ahead of the puck, right? Like it's not where it's going to be. It's like where it might think about being, 10 years down the line. I worry, not I worry about, it's just incredible, right? That like you're just constantly on the bleeding edge of I don't know, all of these technologies, all of these philosophies, all these, all this stuff that's happening.
I think it's very easy to get distracted once you come here while you're building and thinking about a product, and you start building for this community. Right? I think that is where you start building for like way ahead in the future. Right? I think we're like 200 people here, and you cannot build for 200 people. You have to build for like a lot more, right? That is, you can't just make money with 200. And I think that is, I've had my fair share of experience there, right? I think I did Bar Uncle way back in 2016. and it was a virtual alcohol wallet where you could go and do all that stuff. I was selling experience at the time when people wanted discounts.
Yep.
People were expecting discounts from app, not experiences. I think now we're at a stage where people are doing experience. Like people can now, like you can buy into experience from an application.
That was probably the time Groupon was happening when you were doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like competing with Groupon. Groupon said, hey, get 20% discount. And I said, hey, you buy a bottle, go here, this. Yeah. Like, dude, just give me 20%. Like, I'll be done with this. Don't make me go through this experience, right?
Yeah.
So it was like I feel that it was the right product at the wrong time, right?
That's interesting. But okay, well then looking forwards, are you going to keep on coming back? What does the next year look like for you? What are you planning? How are things planning to unfold with the fund? Do you have a name for the fund, Jeff?
Yeah.
I don't want to say it unless you don't want to say it.
Absolutely. I'm hopefully I'll get this name correct. Like I just need to find everything else on it, but like it's going to be somewhere around Curious Ventures. Because that's what got me here, just asking the question why a million times.
Yep.
I think my mom always said it, like I hated it when you kept asking why for everything.
Sure.
And I have these tattoos on me which say stay curious. I think
sounds like
it just makes sense to just call it Curious, right? Eventually. So that's the fund, I think.
When did you get the tattoo that says
Curious? Man, it's been like 4 years now, right? Like I got a tattoo before it was before I had named it. So
it's it's just a whole nother conversation, maybe not have, but like the import, like just the significance of naming.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you name things because you are already that, or do you become something more because you name something that? Is it both things?
Yeah.
Like it's very interesting now.
Yeah, it is like a chicken and egg thing, right?
Connect.
But we'll never know.
But again, Curious Ventures. Like, what's the plan? What are you aiming to do? What's it going to look like in the coming years?
Absolutely. So I think my major goal here while building this fund was to understand the problem statement of why I'm doing this.
Yep.
I think the why for me is that I truly believe that technology will have way more advancement and will get way more cheaper. We need to build an operator-led distribution network. And that's what I'm going to be concentrating on for the next year, I suppose, like at least for the next 4 months. My goal here is to partner with as many network states as possible, as many individual communities, groups. I'm mostly deploying in Dubai, MENA, India, and Southeast Asia region. So anybody, if you have a community of founders, if you have a community of people that are working together, please reach out. I would love to connect. Like they always say that you can't build a community. You have to tap into the oil mine, right? So let me know where the oil mine is, and I'm gonna go tapping now. That's gonna be the main goal, I think. That's what I bring onto the picture also. I think for me, building the moat for my venture fund will be around building the distribution angle of the segment, right?
Sure.
I will find the best pipeline for founders, and I will find the best pipeline for them to distribute their product around. And it allows, like me tapping into other communities and other segments allows me to match my founders to the best community that I know, which will adopt their product now. Having worked and led operations for like a decade plus allows me to truly identify where the product market fit will be, if there is a founder market fit for this thing, or we might just need to get this guy on maybe another different trajectory.
Because you're going to be investing early, right? Pre-seed.
Yeah, pre-seed.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah,
maybe
first round.
Money. Yeah.
First round, maybe some convertible notes. I'm a degenerate at heart, and that's where I'm going to be. Right, I'm going to be with the guys who are building the future and gambling on day one.
Yes.
Right, so I'm going to be with them.
Yes.
And I'm going to be in the trenches with them.
No. I love it. Okay, well, I mean, are you now committed to being an investor for the next like 25 years? Is this what you're doing?
I would say I'm committed to being a builder for the next 25 years, and and I will be very lucky to work with some great founders. I think.
Well, then, what would a great founder? Maybe that's how we end here. Right? Like, what would a great founder be? Like, if you had one person like reach out to you in your DMs right now, like, what would you want?
I would want somebody to fall in love with the problem statement and not their solution. Right? That is like the baseline thesis for me to see how crazy the founder is, or how dedicated is he to the problem statement. Sometimes while you're building for something, you stumble upon a great solution, and then you start finding a customer for that solution. And that's where like you lose your path, right? I think I want like a founder that says that whatever I've built, you can scrap it the next day if I find a better solution to solve this freaking problem statement. And that is the goal. I see something that this guy is having a problem with, and I want to make his life easier in some format, or make them more productive, or make them just improve in some essence. And that's a problem statement that you need to be stuck with. Like, you cannot have a solution and then find a customer. You need to have a problem and then find a solution for it. And that's what differentiates between a founder that will truly make it and the founder that will need to pivot 50 times before he makes it.
Yes.
But everybody makes it if you just keep at it, right? Like, you have to be at it. Like, it's usually said that it happens overnight, but it's you can say it's like, it's an overnight journey, but 10 years in making, like 20 years in making, right? It's very easy to forget those 20 years once that phone call comes in. Like, if you read an autobiography, right? First 30 pages, 40 pages are 50 pages he's suffering. Last 60 pages he's enjoying. But the change happens in like the phone call, or like that call, or that one meeting. So it's like a moment.
Ârc is going to be like that. You know, it's going to be one of these things where people think it's sort of like come out of nowhere in this like really short period of time. It's going to be like, guys, this was 40 years of work. You know, like this is a long time coming. But like, where do people find you? How do people, how do all of these founders that are actually working on solutions, not problems, come and like DM you and go, like, you know?
I think currently the best way to find me is reach out on Twitter. It's at the rate Soodgen, SOODGEN. It's also Soodgen, right? But yeah, you can. I think that's the best way to get to me now. I'm not much of a LinkedIn buff, and I'm getting my sites up.
So you're making LPs DM you on Twitter?
No, Dude, if you're an LP, you can think about me, and I'll be there somewhere. Right?
But I know I love that, because that's what I think you represent already. Is that like, you're prepared to basically turn up and do the work. And like a lot of fucking VC, and this is what I respect about Balaji as well, right? It's just like, he's fucking in the arena doing the work. A lot of other people made the amount of, you know, are on their yachts, having a fucking great time, still in Dubai. You're in here in the arena doing the work, and that's why I know you're going to be successful. But
thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and I look forward to much more stuff together. You know, thank you for coming and have a chat.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to be back and like spend more time with Ârc and Enes. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Right, rotate. Next guest. Get off. Right, again, great. On to our next guest, Dave. How are you doing?
Great.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Dude, when did we meet? Were you here in the April when I got here as well?
Yes, exactly.
Christ. So you've been here from what I basically consider the beginning.
Kinda.
Why were you here in April?
Well, before April, I was in Prospera, and that's when I found out about like this being happening.
Dude, the whole like election thing in Honduras is happening like right now. People are like literally like at the polls, or like is the voting happening 2 days Sunday, so they haven't gone to the polls yet? I think
I'm not sure, but
it's on the 30th. It's today, right? So like it's not weekend. Quite. It's probably still actually like Saturday evening, isn't it? Right. Good luck, Prospera. Good luck, Honduran people. We hope it goes the right way for us. But okay, so you were there and you heard about this over there.
Applied immediately, booked my flights next day, and had to go to South America for a bit before, but like.
I guess the bigger question then is that why were you in Prospera? Again, for maybe to explain what Prospera is, then maybe for people that are not.
Sure. So I left my company like shortly before, and I was just looking for what to build next, and I wanted to revisit this whole charter city space. I used to like get into it like 12 years ago or so, but then like I got into crypto rabbit hole, and now I kind of came out after a decade, and so I was just like looking around like what's happening. I heard about Prospera before, like a long time before, and I wanted to check it out. Like there was a startup, a pop-up city there, January, February. So exploring, we're looking like what to build next, and like that's actually where I started to kind of built the stuff I'm building still now
Mm-hmm.
and releasing next week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Are we going to tell us about a preview? I mean, let's go 12 years back first. So why were you thinking about this stuff 12 years ago?
So I studied economics. I got into libertarian circles, Bitcoin.
Did you study economics at university?
Yeah.
I feel like, isn't it this day, if you study economics at university, you end up being a communist these days, isn't it? Or like, you went the other direction.
It could be, yeah. I was lucky enough not to become one, I guess. But that's when I got into Bitcoin. I started to write my thesis on Ethereum, even before it launched. I published my thesis before Ethereum published the mainnet. So that was fun back in the days. And so I was super interested in the idea of the denationalized money and decentralized money as a concept, and obviously, so that's been like super exciting because like that's what enables individual freedom.
Sure.
And I think now after all the time, I again like wants to like, okay, so we shouldn't take it for granted, but we sort of have some like avenues for freedom in the digital space, and now like, okay, let's get back to the physical realm and like what's going on there, like what we can do there. So this is where Prospera comes in. Table. The most free jurisdiction in the world, I believe. Super.
If it was allowed to be as free as it could be.
Yeah, but it's still probably like the most free, right? Like polycentric legal system. So I'm not at least aware of any other instances where this is like.
I think like on paper, but in reality, I think like it's challenging.
Yes.
I think that's the delta.
Of course.
Like again, if they were just allowed to be as free as it says on paper, then I think that it would be incredible for all the Honduran people. I think that it would have made a genuine dent on like national GDP and sort of like national wealth and sort of like just general sort of like quality of living for what is like the poorest nation in the region. So again, fingers crossed on there. But okay, so you were looking at this stuff 12 years ago as a result of like studying sort of economics, and but you went down more like the crypto rabbit hole, like immediately. What were you getting into? What happened? What have you been up to?
I got hired to work in the Institute of Crypto Anarchy in Prague. This was a part of the bigger building, which was called Paronapolis, which is like the first Bitcoin only cafe in the world in Prague. And there was like
what year is this?
You haven't been there?
No, I have not. No.
It's kind of now it's not there anymore. It kind of closed recently, but it was the first Bitcoin only cafe in the world, and there's like a huge black building in Prague, and they had like a makers lab, co-working, Bitcoin cafe, and on the top floor we had like Institute of Crypto Anarchy. So we hosted like dozens, like hundreds of events, and like the Hackers Congress, which is still ongoing. They just changed the venue. So back in the early days, like all the Bitcoin OGs, like Devs, Andreas Antonopoulos, and like all the cypherpunks were like going there like very regularly. So that was like really nice place to be and to get inspired and like learn a lot about the whole space. Then I like switched a little bit. I went to the corporation like PwC to the IT audit for some time, and then I like switched back to crypto and like stayed full time in crypto ever since.
Did someone put some pressure on you to get like a real job or something? Like what happened?
No, really, but I wanted to have that experience.
Sure.
I think it was like also, in the early days, it was like people took it a little bit more seriously if you had like this badge of international corporation behind you. So when I left PwC, it was like, and I was like into crypto, like people like, a little bit paid more attention to me because I was not just the like hacker cypherpunk, but I was like, oh, you're a consultant for PwC.
Hey, dude, I did the EY thing, so like we're both kind of there. But okay, so couple years doing some audit fun at PwC, and then back into the Institute of Crypto Anarchy.
No, then I kind of went like freelance, and I was like, okay, I'm now going to crypto. I don't know what it's gonna mean for me, like some consulting work. Like
what year was this?
2017.
Okay, yeah, sure.
2017, yeah. So I just started to do some advisory and consulting gigs in the beginning. I founded like an NGO, Blockchain Slovakia. I was back there in Slovakia, in my home country. So did a few NGOs also like afterwards. A lot of educational stuff. I started to teach at university. In between, I started to like study Master of Science in Digital Currencies, in Cyprus, which was like the first one I think in the world. And then
Was that at that kind of like, what university was that at?
University of Nicosia.
Yeah.
Cyprus,
Sure. But
No.
more, yeah.
You know, they had this very famous MOOC, where like hundreds of thousands of people studied that massive online open course with Andreas Antonopoulos, and
Right, this is what
really
I've heard
good
of
stuff.
it. Yeah.
And yeah, afterwards I started to teach at university myself, and I started to build some first startups. You know, I built like initially some NFT company in 2018, which failed massively.
Was there like even an ERC 721 standard back in 2018?
There was.
Was
because,
it already
like,
there?
I named my company ERC 721 back in the days. So there was.
Well, I wondered if the NFT standard had been named after you,
Yeah,
right?
no.
No. Okay.
No, this was like sort of a reaction to crypto kitties, if you remember.
Oh God! So kitties had happened back then.
Yeah, it was like late 2017.
Sure.
It kind of almost break the Ethereum network.
Yes. No, it did back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Who was the? He's now A16. Chris Dixon, right? Was like pretty behind kitties.
I'm not sure if he was behind them, but
Was he not? Or maybe just wrote about it. I can't remember. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. Okay, you know, kitties. God, I did not own a kitty.
Me neither. Unfortunately.
Yeah. What are they worth these days, kitties?
I haven't checked the whole NFT space for years now. I still do own some like my legacy bad investments, like some virtual land in some of the metaverses.
Oh yeah, nice.
I was like hoping they will go big.
Yeah. Things like Mana and.
I didn't do Mana. I did the Somnium Space.
Okay.
It's like I really like the vision and like the way they did it, and they're still like doing good, but just the numbers are not there.
Yeah. But it's tough.
Cool project. Maybe once.
Okay, but so you invented NFTs.
Then later I also like in my side quest, I was writing my book, the history and evolution of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I was going around the conferences. I was doing interviews with all like builders in the space. You know, like even like from the 90s. You know, the founder of DigiCash. And like Scott Stornetta from the Bitcoin white paper, the inventors of blockchain, Stuart Haber, his colleague, so like the scientific folks, and then like Emir Senguren from Avalanche, and like Fluffy Pony from Monero, and Peter, the Bitcoin developer, Peter. Damn, never mind. So like lots of folks, like the inventor of Mastercoin, the first ICO. People. So I interviewed them. And I, in the end, like wrote a book out of it. So it was like a fun. But
it's not the same book as the one that you deal with, like the origin of Satoshi. Or is that a different book?
That's my book, and one chapter is dedicated to this topic, like who can beat Satoshi. Yeah.
Okay. If you don't know, find out. Get the book.
Yeah, it's actually freely available at coinstory.tech.
Coinstory.tech.
Yeah.
Coinstory.tech. There you are. Go for it.
Yeah, and then I started to do like crypto brokerage firm. So that was kind of fun for a couple of years, and on the side doing advisory for a bunch of startups in the crypto space, also to like government institutions in the Czech and Slovak geography.
Because you still have a semi-government role at the minute, is that fair? Or
it's like I'm just like external advisor to the central bank.
Okay,
when it comes to crypto, but like haven't been super active lately. Yeah, it's definitely much more fun to be in the private.
How space. I mean, just even like when you were more actively involved, like the central bank, like did that give you a sense of optimism and that like they're going to
yeah.
That sent you on a one-way plane to Prospera,
It's like I was helping out with implementation of MiCA regulation on the Slovak market. And the whole, it's tricky, I think in Europe it's tricky, the whole bureaucratic culture of the whole thing and over-regulation. So it is very tricky. And like also the whole MiCA thing and the implementation, and there's like a jurisdiction arbitrage even in the MiCA thing.
Sure.
Because like basically every country can have different implementation and enforcement. So it's pain in the ass a little bit. So that's when I also started to work on my DeFi project, Quark. So because back in the days, the whole was the liquid staking on Ethereum eigenlayer thing popped up, and we were super excited. It's still going. It's still going, and like it's super interesting. But at the same time, it sort of introduces a lot of systemic risk in the whole space, like Ethereum staking. and restaking space. So with Rob, my co-founder, back in the days, we were like thinking like, okay, so how we can build something that kind of mitigates this sort of risk and like perhaps also helps. This is more like a side product of it, but like pricing something that helps us to price the risk of DPEG, different like liquid restaking assets and stable coins and whatever, all the pegged assets.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
And this is the one that you ended up getting backed by A16Z.
Yeah.
This one still goes, right? This is still like
Still
a like a thing, yeah. Like
I'm not active in the company anymore, but yeah, the company is still live and doing good. Sort of relaunching V2 pretty soon. So yeah.
And what's the core premise? Like, what's it ended up doing? What does Cork look like today in V2?
So effectively, it draws on the concept of credit default swaps and TradFi, and sort of basically builds like a two-way protocol that allows to, or that kind of provides insurance against DPEG for any pegged assets, mostly focused on stable coins now. We had a hack a couple months ago.
How was that?
So it was bad. I wasn't actively anymore.
Yeah.
So it was like a little bit, I wasn't too much affected.
Yeah.
Right? And personally. But I mean, it's always like bad when
I mean, there are still bloody hacks every week.
Yeah.
It's insane, right? The amount of money.
Yes.
Was that it wasn't a huge, I mean, it's obviously all these things are always horrendous, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a huge hack.
It was $12 million.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of it, I mean, obviously a lot of money,
Yeah.
but in comparison to like
My
most,
bit.
but yeah, you know, or something that happens every week, right? It's on the smaller side. Thank you. Did you get featured on Wrecked?
I didn't check, but I would assume so.
Yeah.
Assume so. Yeah. Is still like 4 audits, you know?
So, sure. What was the problem? Why did it? Yeah, just.
It's like a combo of economic and tech exploit.
Yeah.
We have a huge postmortem thing. On the blog, but
it wasn't the end, fortunately, right? Again, you're saying now launching.
Company is like well funded.
Yep.
There's a plan to reimburse on the long term the liquidity providers.
Yep.
Because that's those people lost money, right?
Yeah.
So and we rebuilt, kind of reduced the core of the protocol to a very essential part.
Yeah.
And that's what's being again like audited and like now relaunching.
Yeah.
Hopefully, secure.
There's a lot of like very significant companies in the industry that did get hacked at one point or another. And have made often I think back like the Bitfinex crew, whatever, a lot of like as a part of like making their, the those that suffered the lost whole.
Yes.
Have like very overcompensated, right? And people have done very well out of some of these things. So
more recently Balancer, right? Like
after
so many years.
I was with the team last week. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, DeFi is still tough. Still
very
not that secure as we would probably wish.
No.
But we're getting there, hopefully.
Fine. Okay. Well, but you alluded at the beginning that you've been working on something different, kind of like this year, and that you're launching next week.
Yeah.
Can you tell us? Is it secret?
I think it's actually the first time I talk about it because I haven't been talking much about it. But yeah, so for myself in the past years, I had to kind of figure out, being nomadic and like how to create structures around my assets, how to protect myself, how to maybe tax optimize in some cases. So I've been like working on this for myself, and then I helped like dozens of friends along the way. So I was like, okay, maybe there are like some actually, especially it's harder for Americans, but it's a different story. Like each nationality is a different story, but like for Europeans, for example, but that's where I focus right now, is like kind of easier, I would say, in some regards. So I'm building like a app that aggregates this investment immigration services and options. So you can get residence in South America, bank accounts in Asia, US companies, offshore companies, and trust and this kind of stuff. So like whatever I'm trying to like pick stuff that makes most sense in majority of the cases. I don't want to like fully customize structures for people, but like trying to streamline the options that like make most sense for like most of the people in Europe, let's say. And then like later on I want to start with like some second citizenships and like people outside of Europe getting their food in Europe, and so on, like Plan B kind of things and all this stuff.
So this is about like if you are, I guess like maybe like one of the people that is maybe more mobile and is moving around, has been building in sort of like crypto. It's like where do you locate yourself literally? Where do you locate yourself digitally? Where do you locate the the assets that you sort of like have? How do you structure this? How do you protect it, I guess, for the long term? How do you protect yourself for the long term with like other jurisdictions? Like I did I need to get another citizenship. I did a gold visa thing in Portugal, and
do you have it still?
No, I have the intermediary stage thing. So I have I have a Portuguese identity. So I've still got. I did it like 3.5 years ago or something.
So now you're probably angry.
I mean, like you probably know about all this stuff, right? Because they've at least tried to legislate that it was 5 years that you needed, and now it's 10 years. Just in the I have so many friends that have actually already like sued the Portuguese government for like other reasons around the visa, and have won in their own courts, but then they still don't get any. It's irrelevant that you've even won in the courts. Nothing changes. They think it's unconstitutional to change from 5 to 10, and that they won't be able to kind of like keep it.
Being challenged. So I think there is maybe a chance they will.
But it's just general. Like Portugal had one of the best reputations in the world for attracting, I would say, like people kind of like us, and they really have tried to destroy a great kind of like thing, I just, even for myself, again, just like the uncertainty of like, I think it took like 2.5 years or something to like actually be issued sort of like the identity as like the first sort of like step and to be sort of like approved, when like it was meant to be 3 months, and you're meant to basically you pay, you submit, you invest, you do all this stuff, and you're meant to get like your approval 3 months later. And then at this point, you also get travel rights and you have access. And so for like 2.5, 3 years, you're just like actually stuck in sort of like a limbo. So I lost a lot of faith in Portugal. And again, my life has changed as well. Very, very different sort of like plans. I don't know how many billions of dollars Portugal's lost because of their sort of like aggressive sort of like kind of like policies, but it's going to be in that sort of like realm,
I think that's like the issue with all the countries that got too popular. I think like they stop appreciating the people, like their sort of customers, the new customers. So I think it's like it gets tricky always. So
it's everyone else's opportunity, I guess, right? I mean, like what's like for the very for the average case, I guess, like what's the product recommending? What are they using it for from like day one when you launch in like a week,
Yeah, so for Europeans, like it's usually in most of the countries in Europe, it's like sort of not too hard to exit the tax system. You just kind of usually, I'm not saying it's the case everywhere, but like you just cancel your permanent residency there.
Sure.
And it's in South America, it's pretty easy to get a new residency, right? Again, it also they increase the difficulty and make it a little bit more complicated. Back 4 years ago, when I went to Paraguay, I could get it in the first day, the permanent residency. Now it's like just temporary, and in 2 years you get a permanent one. And it's like they milk a little bit more money out of you in every step. But like it's still, for example, Paraguay, I think it's still like the best solution for most of the Europeans, because like super easy still to get and to maintain the residency. The physical presence requirements super low.
Is it like 2 weeks a year? Is it, or is it?
So until a month ago, it was like in the first 2 years, it was basically just one visit in 2 years.
Okay.
Now it's like one visit a year.
Okay.
But still like 1 day a year, let's say.
1 day.
And after you get the permanent residency, it's just one visit per 3 years.
Okay.
So it's like super low, and you don't have to be there, and you can be still acknowledged as a tax resident from their side, right?
And they expect you to file though as part of that.
You have to file things. I'm building a tool that also automates this.
Yeah, nice.
Because zero foreign income, so you have to file, but even if you have zero everywhere.
Makes sense. And then do you get any rights as with that sort of like permanent residency there in Paraguay? You have a right to be there, right?
Yeah,
I guess,
right?
Right.
There. I mean,
a right to get taxed.
Yeah, right to get taxed.
Yes. Look at it.
Have the
Look
land.
at you, benevolent man, going around trying to get rights to tax in more nations, right? Like, good man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right to get taxed, get the land, get the bank account. I think vote as well, I believe. No, I think vote depends like which elections. But like after 3 years of permanent residency, you are eligible technically for passport as well. Of course, to really get it, you kind of should be there more time and speak Spanish and learn the history and be more integrated.
Yeah, like even in Portugal, I've
that's everywhere the
meant
case,
to. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's sort of like a easy way to passport as well, and like the requirement for the presence is like super low. So this is typically very popular, and like, numbers like kind of prove the point, right? Like the number of applications in Paraguay doubles now every year, basically. Asuncion is growing a lot. They collected 1 billion more in taxes last year.
And that's what's the total? Do you know what their total tax take is? What percentage that sort of is?
That was like I think 20%.
Yeah, it's like this is the thing.
Yeah,
some of these economies are much smaller. You know, I don't know. We're doing some Montenegro stuff, right? Like Montenegro's GDP is less than $10 billion. Like if you bring just like the right handful of individuals across, you can like make a really dramatic impact on these sort of places. Exactly. And I think this stuff, I think what you're doing is actually really important, like because I mean, like increasing, like making basically people more liquid, making it easier for them to move, to exit, to opt out. I think particularly with places like Prospero, with Network School, with Ârc, with the new places that we're building, actually the ability for people to leave those places is going to be really, really important. And the more people build what I call like exit tech or whatever you want to call it, right? I think it's actually super important to make it easier and easier to hold basically us to account as people that are building these sort of like products for people.
Yeah, that's my idea, because like I've worked with a bunch of service providers in the past, and like I think there was like a lot of space for improvement when it comes to the whole process and like how transparent it is. And like, of course, the rules are changing like, pretty often.
Yes.
Surprisingly more often than I would have expected. But like still, I think I want to streamline it. I want to like make it like easier and like lower the barriers of exit for a lot of people.
I mean, I don't. When I was at UGen, you were in audit at PwC, right? And I was basically sort of in like international tax structuring type stuff like this, right? And like, I don't know if they're just like all these governments do change the rules a little bit every year just so that they have a reason to keep the tax people with jobs. You know, you don't want to lose that part. It's all like completely retarded, to be honest. Like how complicated it is. Is it who's the famous guy in the US? Is it Dick Cheney or someone who was like, look, I have no idea if my taxes are right, but I've tried really hard. Please don't tell me off, right? Like it's like really fucking complex to do this stuff. It's
that's the ridiculous thing, right? Like that even EY or like the big companies, even they don't give you any guarantees for whatever tax advice you get, right? It's like a probabilistic kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's like, it's the way the whole system is designed is just like kind of to have you locked and like, catch, hold you by the balls.
Yeah.
So if somebody chooses, they can screw you over.
Yeah.
So not nice.
Fine. But okay, so that launches next week. And again, like people can come and they can start like maybe like, I guess what you're trying to do, you're trying to sort of like productize and give, what you're selling is sort of selling like peace of mind and like, like you're not going to get ripped off by a bunch of like totally random lawyers and accountants and sort of like relocation experts and whatever it is, right? And just like,
so my goal is not even to sell any consulting hours. And so I'm going to make it very straightforward. This is the package. Building some intelligence tools along the way, building a chatbot that can help you advise, and building a tool that aggregates just like an RSS feed, like all the global mobility experts and channels and like nomad capitalists and all these guys. And also building a tool that monitors the legislation changes in 40 countries. So building this kind of stuff and to just hope to make it very smooth for people to find
you're going to have like loads of British customers. I think like, there's more people leaving the UK than any other place in the world right now. It's and it's the net migration actually also hides it, because the report is the net migration, but actually like there's so many more people that are leaving. It's just that we have the sort of like the immigration as well that hides it.
The famous this millionaire map, right? Like where the millionaire people move. So a lot of them leave UK. But the important here is for me like that. Many people think like, oh, this kind of international play makes sense when you're just really rich. But I think it's not really the case. I think you can make it more affordable, definitely. And
yes.
You don't have to be like really rich.
And more transparent, I guess, as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
Just sort of like, so you don't, and just realize that, well, you're doing like a very normal thing that's very okay.
Yeah.
You're also like protecting yourself, your family, your livelihoods, like all this sort of stuff, right? And like,
and it shouldn't be frowned upon, right? Like we are in a super like global society by now, and it's like you have completely right to move around, set up companies there, bank accounts there, and just like, use the rules that are.
Yeah, it's like literally. I think like, if I was like, working with my accountant, I was again working with EY in Portugal as part of the application and the gold visa and all the rest of it, right? And it was like we were, as part of that forecasting, what will my taxes actually be if I end up being here properly, and becoming tax resident here, and like it was still great, but it was like, it was like many multiples of the average, kind of like tax take from an everyday citizen, right? And I think this is the point that, again, like you're going elsewhere and you are contributing a lot to these sort of like other local economies. Again, 20% uplift in total tax take in Paraguay. Like it's like, and these are places typically often where, I mean, it's definitely not the case in Portugal, but they can be the case where like those taxes are being deployed more effectively. They're having a lot more impact. And I guess that's the potential future that we have here, right? Is where that like, with greater liquidity, greater ease of moving, that we can move to governments where for every tax dollar we're giving them, and it's just like the analogy I gave, actually I put the podcast out with Patry last night, and I can't remember if I say it in that one or with someone else, but it's like, typically, right, if you can buy a bottle of Coca-Cola for $1 or $5, and it's the same Coca-Cola, we think that the one that's for $1 is better, right? And it's like, you want to be able to get as much as possible with every dollar that you spend, right? But something when it comes to sort of like taxes, there's just sort of like no sort of like regard to sort of efficiency, right? But hopefully, again, you can force governments to be more accountable and to be more efficient in delivering value for every dollar that you're giving them. Because if you're absolutely crap at deploying value for the $1 that you give them, then you go give it to Paraguay or back to Portugal or whatever it is, right?
Honestly, like the super long-term vision, I can imagine like multiple routes that I can take with the company. But yeah, actually, like this is probably one of the routes that I can imagine, like having like more like intelligence and data and help maybe governments to craft like more efficient legislation if they really want to. So yeah, and like running different special economic zone programs, CBI programs, and like these kind of things.
Has anyone done sort of like, because obviously like GDP per capita comparisons across the world often like I often meet, for example, like Malaysians or some of the workers kind of like here that are like, oh my God, I'd love to go to the UK. And I'm like, you don't want to go to the UK. You would be so poor in like the UK. Because it's just like GDP per capita might be much higher in the UK, but actually on a price parity basis, like GDP per capita is higher here in Malaysia right now. This is one of the things the Brits don't realize, just how actually poor that we've like become, and that places just like random Malaysia, right? Not even in the capital, right? Like in Johor in the region are actually richer than the UK, because every dollar that they have goes so much further. Rent is a fraction of what rent is. Everyday food is a fraction of what that is. But I wonder if anyone's like looked again. It's almost like, you spend maybe like the tax percentage that you spend is the same somewhere, but like the tax output or what's generated from the government is maybe much greater somewhere than somewhere else. And I don't know if anyone's looked at that in the same sort of like way. I've at least not thought about it quite so much that way.
Yeah, I don't think I have looked at it either. But like, as you said, and also I think we can see in the West this trend, like it's calming, the exit taxes and like worldwide taxation.
Yeah, sure. Which would be fine in a way, beyond it maybe being theft anyway, but if they were using it for good reasons.
Yeah, but they don't, right? Like they're just like drawing in the debt, and they have to collect any revenue they can, and still it's not going to be enough, and it will not help anyone. It's just like it's kind of really sort of useless endeavor.
No, I've honestly, I think we need to accelerate to failure so that we can start to go up a bit more. But there are some other things that you're working on at the minute. I don't know if you're able to talk about them per se. So as opposed to like, teeing you up, like, is there anything else that you're able to talk about that you're working on at the minute, or?
What do you mean now?
No. I'm not gonna. I don't think I can say anything without like saying too much, So, I won't say much. But I mean, again, just go back to here, I guess, like, and now then, right? Like, part of, I guess, what you're doing, right, is building this like a mobility platform that can help more people come to places like Ârc, places like NS, places like Prospero, right? Do you see yourself as a funnel? Like, are you
exactly? Yeah, that's probably something I forgot to mention. Definitely, I definitely want to like build for the network state community. I'm still figuring out like what are the things that makes most sense to build. But like, yeah, some tracker of the whole network state projects, pop-up cities, and all these things. I mean, there are a bunch of already dashboards that are doing pretty well. I think I will be likely integrating some of them in my app and then build on top of it. So yeah, like I mean, like the initial prompt for me, or like the motivation, was to help the whole network state movement to help get some little bit more spotlight. So yeah, building a funnel to move the whole NS network state movement forward. But having this kind of services as something that can make it hopefully economically sustainable to build the other tools and services for the whole network state.
Yeah. And again, you obviously quite enjoyed your time here because you decided to commit and become like a long-termer, like here at NS. Like, why? Again, you understand mobility. You can go anywhere. Like.
That's like multiple answers to this, I believe. The quality of life, I think here it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like you're very streamlined, the whole experience, like food, and you don't have to take care of any logistics and preparations and stuff. So you can just really focus on work. You have a gym like right away, so it's really good for your shape. It's the friction is removed completely. So I think I'm much more productive, much more healthy here than usually. Not much, but like somehow more. What I'm building, all the folks here is like it's like just so makes sense for me to be here. And also I brought my girlfriend here because I wanted her to soak this kind of environment and the excitement and like motivation to learn new stuff and write code, and like I think it's a really good place also for her to learn new stuff here.
How's she been finding it?
I think she loves it so far. I mean, she's been like very locked in. So, but like that's why exactly kind of what we wanted.
Yeah.
That she's learning new stuff, and she's actually like kind of rebuilding her career while we are here. So, because she quit her job so we can come here, and now she needs to like find something new. And she's psychology, is an artist, so she's like gonna get in the graphical design and like doing a bunch of these kind of things. So I think I can say probably it kind of works well. So. It's a good place. It's still like a emerging place, but I think it's a great start.
Yeah, this is it. Like if you don't need a fucking Louis Vuitton and do you see that there's? I was going to say like in a yacht, but like we obviously have our small little yacht out front, right? But also there's all the water sports activities that are I mean, again, like there's been sailing and stuff that's been going on for a while, but there's now like. There's always jet skis out. There's like people on the back of banana boats and inflatables and kayaks, and all of this is now just happening. Like, it's just right outside. It's like a minute down the road. Like it's crazy,
It's getting better. It's improving. There are more things coming here, so it's great. Of course, if you are here like for longer, it might sometimes get a little boring. But so it's like you need to appreciate the. I think it's really built to help you focus really and get locked in and ship stuff built. So
it's going to be interesting, like how the dynamic changes, right? Like as there becomes more and more stuff to do here, and there's more people. I mean, we were out filming on the beach and stuff last night, right? It's busy.
Yeah, it's getting
there are
more busy.
people everywhere. Yeah. It's also gorgeous down there at nighttime. Yeah. Like the lanterns and like all the, it's like it's real nice, right? But like. When that starts to, like when there's more and more distractions, again, like how that kind of like continues to sort of like undermine the sort of like really productive environment that we have here, it's going to be sort of interesting. Like, I guess like overall, like for every bit of less productivity, there's more, like maybe the product overall sort of stays the same, right? Yeah. But as the overall value of the product, but it is sort of interesting, right? There is like there's an opportunity cost for there suddenly being like 100 extra things to do on the island.
Oh yeah, I mean, even now there's like a lot of opportunities to get distracted, and a lot of program and social like events, or like even just like educational events. They're really good. Like there's a ton of them. So if you really just also want to learn and get inspired, you have a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah, it's very easy to come and just be sort of like dragged through like just 1,000 things that go on here, right? It's good. But okay, so where do people? So obviously, coinstory.tech was for the book.
Yeah.
But how about for your mobility play? You know, what's the where do people go? Where do people sign up? Where's the wait list? Where's like how do people find you? What's
Yeah, so my website is davidstancel.com. So I have like a lot of things there. Like from my projects and stuff. And the product we mentioned, I just rebranded very recently. So I call it Polystate.
Okay, interesting.
So polystate.io is the product. It's kind of live now, so people already can go and...
Polystate.io,
yeah.
Did you say? Interesting, good name. Yeah. It's a good name.
I wanted to have a play for Network State as well.
It's
like, initially, it was like kind of Nomad X.
They're way better. Polystate's way better. I like that. I like that. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to being one of the options on Polystate. I want to the competitor in me already wants to be number one, right? For choice of jurisdiction.
I really hope to see Ârc there, in the near future, hopefully. As a hopefully in a wholesome jurisdiction, ideally.
It'd be so cool. But no, thank you for the work that you're doing to help everybody with this. I think at some point a wider audience will realize how important all of this stuff is, and how we're sort of fighting for everyone's kind of like future here. But dude, thanks for coming on. Pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. That's it for this sort of like show. I hope that has enticed you and that you want to come along and see. You can go to ns.com/Ârc/apply, and you can get an application that comes kind of like straight to me. You can also reach out to someone like Dave or any of the people that are here, and people will be super happy to sort of like answer your questions. Like we are here, 24/7. You can arrive typically on the 1st of any month at any point. Come for the beginning of January. Lock in and help build, help level yourself up to whatever you want to do in 2026. Is it really 2026 next year?
It seems so, apparently.
I'm also getting older by the day. But look, thank you so much for listening, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.